Rohan, and yeah, now I'm off to the sunny and ever increasingly dry Yorke Mid-North. So I'll start by telling the climate change leadership story in the Yorke Mid-North region, and then focus on some of our more recent activities, which has been climate change adaptation planning and our on-ground works, and then finish, I guess, by looking at our next steps and our achievements so far. So we've got up here a bit of a timeline, I guess, that sort of represents the history of a collaborative and a regional approach to climate change within the Yorke Mid-North. So it started off in 2007, where we had our first interagency climate change meeting, and this was sort of prompted by some natural disaster planning work that was being undertaken by councils at the time, and really recognised we needed to get everybody together. And then this was followed up in 2008 with the Climate Change Forum, and there from that we saw the formation of the Regional Climate Change Steering Committee. This committee continues on today, and as I mentioned before, it's made up of the regional alliance partners, so CEO representation from the Northern Yorke NRM Board, Regional Development Yorke Mid-North, and the Central Local Government Region. To further drive climate change adaptation in the region, in 2011 we undertook the Central Local Government Region Integrated Climate Change Vulnerability Assessment, and Adam sort of talked about that already. So this was sort of then leading into our planning, and that same year we signed our sector agreement, and then in October last year we appointed a Regional Climate Change Coordinator, so my position. So I guess really building on our findings of the Integrated Vulnerability Assessment, planning for adaptation is, I guess, nearing, well, the first part of it is nearing completion in our region, but clearly adaptation planning will need to be an ongoing and evolving process, just as the regional needs change. So our regional alliance, I guess, is really focused on getting on-ground collaborative adaptation actions happening. But I guess the other side of that is needing to make sure that they are directed by good planning. And so our planning process has really been looking at drawing on the vulnerability findings, and then looking at what activities need to occur at what time to get, I guess, the best results for a long-term program. So now, in terms of developing our action plan, we started off with consultation on a range of different options, and I guess we really utilised the resources that we had at hand, integrated vulnerability assessment to really set the scope and forming what recommendations out of that. And then we also had a regional alliance, which in effect was a ready-made integrated reference group that had direct links with the community that we could really draw upon. So I guess that group, along with other stakeholders, regional stakeholders and climate change experts across the state, we used those to develop up a range of options that we could pursue into the future. And then we went through the process of checking and prioritising those, so looking at maladaptation, consequence type, but also I guess checking those actions against some long-term visions for the region. So I guess our visions for the different assets, both natural assets and built assets, and also for long-term pathways for implementation to make sure they were addressed in a logical manner. So we went, I guess, through that process and used prioritised actions, again drawing on the integrated vulnerability assessment for some of the criteria in terms of vulnerability and also values. So we got to the point of selecting a final set of actions, and where possible we've tried to develop those up into fully scoped projects so that we're ready to run with them when we can find those opportunities. The plan is now in draft form, and we're just getting sign off on that, but we've tried to group the actions under three main headings. And the first are regional leadership actions, so those where regional alliance will really drive those forward and really have that strong link with our regional partners. The next are actions requiring funding and support, so we've got a clear methodology, just need to get the money. And then the last were some projects that may be better approached from a statewide level, or where there isn't a clear way forward and not a barrier barriers. So we've sort of termed those actions requiring further development with government partners. So yeah, we're now at the stage of finalising the draft plan. I guess in parallel to planning, we've been progressing works on the ground. So there have been coordination and communication activities, so attending workshops with the Zone Emergency Management Commission, newsletters, coordinating bids with the different regional partners, and also a series of projects. And I don't obviously have time to go into those, but I guess they're some of our key projects that we hope to progress over the next couple of years, and supported by our planning process. So just from here, so we hope to sign off on our action plan in the next month or so and get it out for wider distribution. So we look forward to future partnerships with many of you in this room, and we'll hope to continue to progress some of those priority actions really to the point of on-ground actions, because we see that that will provide opportunities for that wider engagement and to start to get that support for adaptation in the region. And I guess finally, just looking at our regional alliance and our steering committee, and really just sort of recognising just how effective that has been in achieving that coordinated action and integrated action, and also securing support. And really, that is quite important for the longer term and prosperous adaptation of the Yorke and Mid-North region.